If there is one name in history that evokes as much mystery as it does tragedy, that name is Pontius Pilate. He was the man who washed his hands at the most decisive moment of his life, becoming a symbol of indecision and avoided responsibility. But who really was Pilate? Was he merely a Roman governor following orders, or a man tormented by the choices he made? In this video, we will dive into the life of Pontius Pilate, from his obscure origins to his downfall in the Roman Empire. We will explore the political and religious context in which he lived, understand his decisions as governor of Judea, and uncover what happened to him after the crucifixion of Jesus. Get ready for a journey through imperial Rome and first-century Judea. Stay until the end, because there are surprising details about the fate of this man whose signature marked one of the most important moments in history. To understand Pontius Pilate, it is essential to understand Judea in the first century. At the time, the region was under the rule of the Roman Empire, but it was one of the most difficult territories to govern. The Jewish population was deeply religious and resisted foreign influences, especially Roman pagan culture and practices. This made Judea a powder keg ready to explode at any moment. Rome had established an indirect rule system, allowing local kings, like Herod, to govern under its supervision. However, after Herod's death, Judea was turned into a Roman province and came to be governed by prefects or procurators appointed directly by the emperor. Pilate was one of these governors, taking office around the year 26, appointed by Emperor Tiberius. The political context was tense. Jewish factions disputed power and influence, while revolutionary groups like the Zealots promoted uprisings against Rome. Any mistake by the governor could result in riots and severe reprisals from the empire. Pilate not only had to maintain order, but also had to balance Rome's demands with the religious sensitivities of the local people. Pilate assumed the governorship of the province of Judea, remaining in office for approximately 10 years. As governor, he had the mission of maintaining order, collecting taxes, and ensuring the region's loyalty to Emperor Tiberius. However, his administration was marked by conflicts with the Jewish population and controversial decisions that resulted in revolts and constant tensions. Pilate showed little sensitivity to Jewish traditions. On one occasion, he ordered banners bearing the emperor's image to be brought into Jerusalem, which caused great outrage as the Jews considered it an act of idolatry. Moreover, he confiscated temple funds to build an aqueduct, sparking new protests. To suppress them, he ordered soldiers to infiltrate the crowd and attack the demonstrators, resulting in a great bloodshed. It was in this context of instability that the trial of Jesus took place. The Gospels report that the Jewish religious leaders brought Jesus to Pilate, accusing him of blasphemy and of proclaiming himself King of the Jews, which could be interpreted as an act of rebellion against Rome. Pilate, upon questioning Jesus, found no guilt in him sufficient for a conviction, but pressured by the crowd and the religious leaders, gave in and ordered his crucifixion. The act of washing his hands, as reported in the Gospel of Matthew, symbolizes his attempt to absolve himself of responsibility for Jesus' death. But historically, this decision sealed his name as one of the most controversial characters in Christian history. Pilate may have seen Jesus' condemnation as a pragmatic solution to avoid riots and maintain his own position. However, his governance was already shaken, and the conflicts with the Jewish population would continue until his removal. After the crucifixion of Jesus, Pontius Pilate's position as governor of Judea became increasingly unstable. Historical accounts indicate that his relationship with the Jewish population further deteriorated due to his inflexible administration and violent repression of uprisings. The decisive episode that led to his downfall occurred when Pilate ordered the repression of a group of Samaritans who had gathered on Mount Gerizim, claiming to seek sacred relics. The massacre was so brutal that the Samaritan leaders filed a complaint with the governor of Syria, Lucius Vitellius, who, in turn, reported the events to Emperor Tiberius. As a result, Pilate was removed from his position and sent back to Rome to answer for his administration. From that point on, his fate becomes uncertain. Some traditions claim that Pilate was exiled and took his own life, while others suggest he was executed by order of Emperor Caligula. There are also Christian legends that say he converted to Christianity and sought redemption for his actions. Regardless of what really happened, Pilate remains a complex figure surrounded by controversies and symbolism that transcend his own era. His name was immortalized in the Christian creeds, and his figure remains surrounded by mystery, guilt, and redemption. Was he merely a Roman administrator bound by the political pressures of his time? Or was he aware of the impact of his decision to condemn Jesus to the cross? In Eastern Christian tradition, some legends suggest that Pilate repented and even converted to Christianity. In some versions, he and his wife Procura are seen as saints. In Western tradition, however, his image is tied to the idea of a man who tried to avoid responsibility but could not escape the consequences of his actions. Regardless of the interpretation, his figure continues to be studied and debated. His role in history is undeniable, as his decision in the trial of Jesus changed the course of humanity. And you, what do you think about the story of Pontius Pilate? Leave your comment and share this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content about the history of the church and its remarkable figures. See you next time.